Okay, so this is video number 2. The first video, I was explaining the uh, the writing pad, and so in this video, I'm going to explain the feedback. This section here. Again, I don't see these as applications. I see these as tools, but they're just web applications. And so they're separate applications, web applications, but I have them housed in like this suite. So, and I kind of have it sectioned off as like first floor, second floor, third floor, because depending on what your English goals are or needs, these applications or tools would be specific to those goals. But right here, the first floor, this is like the basic, the foundation. This is where you want to begin. Once you start building this, and then you could just go into the other applications. And as I mentioned in the first video, a lot of these applications they interrelate and combine with other applications. So once I finish going through these 6, I'm gonna give you a demonstration of how to do that. So again, this first suite, it's called First Floor English Workshop. And in here in the writing pad, I just showed you basically an overview. You're doing writing here, and you're doing voice input through right here. So it's writing and speaking for this. So everything that you save in your writing or voice input, it's going to get saved here in your feedback. So this is where you're going to want to work on your feedback for your speaking and for your writing. So I'll go ahead and go in here. Let's see. So yeah, as you can see up here in the right corner, there's spoken feedback and writing feedback. So for the first part here for your writing, you're going to see here all the writings you did. They're going to be collected here. And this is an area where you could just work on these here. And it could be something small like punctuation. Like for example here, let's see. So it's a grammar check. This is my original text here. Talked about. The correction was discussed. Phrasal verb like talked about are often considered informal in written summaries. Discussed is more academic. I got the sun going down right here in my face. All right. All right, so let me see. So it should be discussed, not talked about. And so I just checked my answer here. Yes. Okay. One of the things is when you have a collection of corrections here, you might notice patterns that you keep making the same mistake. So I would say that's more beneficial is picking up patterns you didn't know existed. It's the same with your speaking. If I go over here to spoken feedback, you're gonna pick up patterns perhaps that you keep making. So let's see here. Let me select one of these. So here, for example, here. So the information here, conversational hint, focus on the 4 syllables of reiterate and the SH sound in beneficial. And so down here, it's my voice input. So this is not writing, this is my spoken input. I spoke these words. And just take note of the advice that it's given you. So when I said reiterate, my syllables were not clear. I didn't pronounce all 4 syllables clearly to pronounce this word, reiterate, and the SH in beneficial. So I have to emphasize the SH sound. So the best way to do feedback correction for your spoken feedback is just to go back to the section where you were working on for this. And just do it again, voice input, just making a mental note of the mistakes, emphasize the SH in beneficial, and slow down and pronounce all four syllables of reiterate. So once you do that a few times, the more times you do it, the better. Repetition, you're gonna get better. So for your feedback for speaking, just go back to that section and just do voice input again. Check out the spoken feedback. Make take notes of any suggestions or any corrections that's given you there. And for your writing feedback, you're just working on whatever mistakes you made. It could be, like I said, something small like punctuation. You work on it here, and you're going to pick up patterns. So these are the two sections: writing and spoken feedback. Are here. Let's see. I don't have the option here to save anything. I try to add the function for you to save your work, download PDF or Markdown file, or copy and paste. Let's see here. All right, so this is basically the feedback correction section. You're doing writing and speaking over here in the writing pad. For example, here, just real quick, I write. Once I finish writing, I get writing feedback, and I'll label these buttons with better names, better titles. But this is your writing feedback. You click that, you're gonna get your writing report. Download the PDF, save it to your notebook, which will be the next video. And over here, these are just suggestions for your writing if you like. Over here, there's more suggestions for your writings. This would be like C1 level, C2 level. All right, so once you save your work, you download the PDF. You could delete that because it's saved. And then you would go down to voice input. And then here, you wouldn't read word for word what you wrote. You would just reiterate what you wrote. So you want your speaking to be natural, which is one of the criterias in the spoken feedback report. So here, I would just select start. So now it's recording. So you would just reiterate whatever it is that you were writing about, the main ideas, in your own words, and then hit stop, and then hit insert. And again, you're not correcting anything here. You're just making sure that these are the words that were spoken, because some people, they might not have good pronunciation, so it's not going to pick up the words in English. So now that would be the first step, is to focus on pronunciation. And that's what I meant. There's other applications for your specific needs or specific tools to help with that. But here, you wouldn't do any corrections here. You just want to make sure the words you spoke are here. And the example I gave was, for example, if I said season, but it marked me down as saying reason. So now I know that my pronunciation of that word is not clear. Like the feedback we just saw, that I didn't pronounce clearly the syllables for reiterate here. So I just want to make sure I pronounce the four syllables in reiterate. So like that. This is my speaking. Then I do spoken feedback here. And let's see. Yeah, I get my spoken feedback here. Same thing, just save the PDF, save to notebook, and then that's it. And then you could work on your work on the other section over here in feedback. What else is there? Let me just check here. Sometimes I forget. If you're not with me on Preply, because that's the main reason why I'm doing these videos, is to save time in explaining something during the lesson. So I could just create these videos. Students could just come here and get the explanation, a demonstration how to use the applications and how to combine them depending what their needs are. So I could save a lot of time, actually save their time from explaining that during the lesson. But if you want the application or all the applications I'm going to be showing, you could pick them up here. So here, as it says here, teacher developed. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a businessman. I'm a teacher. So these are teacher developed. And that's one of the reasons why I don't use, I would say 99% of applications in the app stores or online, because who's making them? They're marketers. Someone that has been teaching English, that knows. I'm also a student myself. I'm learning a language. So I've learned a few over the years, but right now I'm learning Vietnamese. But is that really how someone learns? Is that how you teach someone? So from both perspectives, as a teacher, is this the way to teach someone? And as a student, is this the approach, the methods that are going to help me, that are really going to help me in real life? And that's what you see here, real life. That's what it is alluding to, real life English, not uh, fake or AI English. AI, it's artificial. AI is to assist and to help. It's not to replace. So, for example, I have students in the U.S. right now. I'm in Vietnam, but I have students in the U.S. from different countries. They never had a conversation with anyone in English before. Now they're in the U.S. in a real life situation for work or college. Um, or work projects that they're doing. They're working with other people, and they cannot communicate in English because it was like if I wanted to learn how to swim, and I learned through a book how to swim, but I never go to the water. How's that? That's not real. For if I need to take an exam and get a high score and memorize information on how to float, uh, techniques and things like that, I could get a high score just to memorize information, like any kind of information. But for me to practically go to a pool and swim, I wouldn't be able to swim, let alone go to the ocean. The ocean is a whole new beast. It's a pool is controlled. The ocean, it's real life. So that's why you see this a lot, real life. I kind of use the analogy of an ocean. Actually, I have it up here. So the ocean here, it's real life, especially for English. So, am I going to spend years learning English from ChatGPT, and then I'm going to go to the U.S. and try to communicate, especially in a professional setting? Is that possible? And so that's why right now I have people there. But anyways, I got off track. Here, real life applications. So that's basically what real life is. And so it's teacher developed. And again, I don't use a lot of applications because usually I would say 90%, the high percentage, there are people who are just out for profit. They're they're making applications, and as you could see all the marketing on these applications for subscriptions. You have to pay or do a 7 day trial, things like that. So if you go down, you're going to see here a lot of my material has been stolen and resold. So that's one of the reasons, or actually, that's the main reason why I'm offering everything I built for the, as it says here. Yes, here. Uh, so everything I built, it's going to be the most minimal price for you to learn. And again, the YouTube channel is here for you to explain and see these applications. But this is where you could pick it up. For me to show you, if you go over here, paid applications. So this is the first one that I'm showing you right now. I'm demonstrating. So it's right here, $5. So it's the bare minimum. It's not like what you're gonna see um, in the app stores or online. All right, so that's this application here. All right, so the next application I'm going to show you is the notebook. And any questions, just let me know.